Most companies don't fail because of a bad strategy. It's usually something quieter. They fail because of this corrosive gap between what they say they are and what they actually do. And it's a problem that affects almost everyone. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and really unpack it.
I mean, you've probably felt this, right? You're in an all-hands meeting and it's all about being people first, but then you see your most talented coworkers quietly heading for the exit. Or maybe they preach collaboration, but everyone is totally locked away in their own silo, guarding their turf. That feeling, that weird contradiction, it is not just in your head. It's a real thing, and it has a name. It's called the integrity gap. Simple idea, really. It's the space between the values a company frames on the wall and the behaviors it actually rewards with promotions, praise, and bonuses. It's sneaky, it's quiet, but let me tell you, it is absolutely destructive to a company's culture.
So how can you actually spot this in your own organization? Well, a good way to think about it is like an illness. It has symptoms. Some of them are really easy to see. They're right there on the surface. You can measure them. But others are things you can just kind of feel in the air. Let's start with the visible ones first.
What's so fascinating here is how these often get misdiagnosed as just, normal business problems. High turnover? Oh, leadership blames the job market or the pay. Silos? That's just some clashing personalities. But so often, these are just symptoms of a much deeper cultural lie. Innovation theater is my favorite. It's when you have all the fun hackathons and idea portals, but nothing ever gets implemented because real innovation is risky and, frankly, it's inconvenient.
Now, if those are the symptoms you can see, the emotional climate, that's where the real damage is happening. This is the stuff you feel in your gut. It's that culture of fear, where just staying silent feels safer than speaking up. People don't really commit to the mission, they just comply to get through the day. And the real irony? The most principled employees, the ones who actually believe in the posters on the wall, they burn out the fastest. Why? Because they're fighting that contradiction every single day.
Okay, so we've looked at the symptoms, but where does this sickness actually come from? The thing is, these integrity gaps rarely happen by accident. They are engineered, often completely unintentionally, by some very specific flaws in how the organization is set up.
Let's think of these as the three core pathogens causing the sickness. First up, borrowed identity. This is when a company just copies some cool-sounding values from a successful competitor without ever asking, is this actually us? Second, and this is a huge one, misaligned incentives. The company talks a big game about teamwork, but then only gives the biggest bonuses to individual rock stars. And third, the leadership shadow. Employees always learn what's really important by watching what leaders do under pressure, not what they say in a big meeting. This quote really just hits the nail on the head. This isn't usually about malicious leaders trying to trick everyone. It's about broken systems that have just been left unexamined for way too long. It's a design problem. And you know what the good news about design problems is? They can be fixed with a better design. So how do you fix it? Well, the first step isn't to go brainstorm a bunch of new, inspiring values. No, the first step is to get radically honest about who the company really is right now. It's got to be a diagnostic process, not some marketing exercise.
And this slide right here lays out a super critical distinction. Aspiration. That's the glossy marketing copy on the website. It's who we wish we were. But identity? Oh, that gets revealed when a crisis hits or a really tough decision has to be made. Who gets the promotion? Which project gets the funding? That reveals your true identity. And real integrity begins by just acknowledging that reality, warts and all. And here's exactly how you uncover that true identity. You look at the data. Who's getting ahead and who's getting frustrated and walking out the door? Where do decisions get stuck in endless meetings? That right there is a map of the real power structure. And that last question is just so powerful. Asking what gets punished, not officially, but subtly, through social cues and side-eye, that will tell you everything you need to know about the culture.
All right, so once you've been brutally honest about who you are, then you can start the real work of becoming who you actually want to be. This is all about consciously and intentionally designing your organization for integrity. We're moving from diagnosis to prescription. Vague values like excellence are almost useless. They're so open to interpretation they can mean anything. But an enforced principle? That's totally different. It's a behavioral rule with teeth. It tells people exactly what to do, and maybe more importantly, what not to do. It's clear, it's actionable, and it is treated as absolutely non-negotiable. This is where it all comes together. This is the whole shebang. If your company says it values collaboration, then you have to stop rewarding individual heroes and start measuring and rewarding cross-team success. If you want innovation, you have to find ways to reward smart experiments, especially the ones that fail but teach you something valuable. Your systems, especially your performance metrics, have to make your values real and tangible.
Now, look, all of this is hard work. It takes a ton of courage and consistency, but the payoff is absolutely immense. Building a high-integrity organization isn't just some feel-good exercise. It is a decisive, strategic advantage in the marketplace.
This slide just distills the whole business case perfectly. In low-trust, low-integrity places, people waste a staggering amount of energy on office politics, on writing defensive CYA emails, on managing perceptions. In a high-integrity culture, all that wasted energy can be focused on actually getting things done. Trust is like an operational lubricant. It just makes everything run smoother and faster.
And this is exactly why they win. Decisions get made faster because there's way less second-guessing and political maneuvering. Employees move from just passively complying to being genuinely committed. You attract and keep the best people, the ones who are looking for purpose, not just perks. And when a real crisis finally hits, the organization holds together because it's built on a solid foundation of truth.
So I want to leave you with this one last question to think about. A value only becomes real at the moment it actually costs you something, when you choose it over an easy profit, or when you have to enforce it even when it affects a top performer. If your values are only for the good times, there aren't really values, they're just decorations.